Hello there, my name is Robyn and welcome to my channel, Robyn the Creator. So before I proceed, I'm just going to need you to quickly like and subscribe below. It takes 2 seconds. 1, 2, look, you're already done. Anyway, so basically my channel is about traveling, fashion illustration, drawing, and connecting with people through my art when traveling. Now with that said, my travel plans have kind of been put on hold a little bit this year because, well, I don't know, because the Rona is lurking around every corner outside. Therefore, travel has been put on pause for me. So what the good thing is that the beauty with having a camera and outlets like YouTube, I'm still able to do my drawing tutorials with you, share some of my skills, and hopefully you can build on your skills or just simply learn something new from watching my channel. So today I'm going to do a quick basic fashion illustration tutorial with you. So hopefully you'll enjoy it, sit back, relax, and just kind of take all this information in. But before I get into the tutorial, I'm going to show you a couple materials that you're going to need in order to start your fashion illustrations or whatever drawings off right.
Let's talk materials. Personally, I like to use a mechanical pencil when drawing. I really like this brand Graphgear, and I like it because it has this really cool textured portion at the bottom of the mechanical pencil, which allows me to get a good grip when I'm drawing, and also too, like the way I hold my pencil, which is like this. I've been told that I hold the pencil weird, but that's not true. But anyway, and I'm using a more traditional pencil. A lot of times I get a lot of rubbing and discomfort and sometimes even scarring on my finger because of the way I hold my pencil. However, when I use this Graphgear pencil with this texture portion, I don't run into that issue. So I really like how they've included this portion here, for a good grip, and also it does not rub up against my finger, causing discomfort. Now, what I love about the mechanical pencil, you can also buy these lead refills. So the minute your mechanical pencil runs out of lead, you have these little refills to refill it. Now, you don't have to get the Graphgear brand. You can easily get a pencil from the dollar store. They usually come in packs of 3, and they kind of work in a similar fashion, except it's not as heavy as the Graphgear mechanical pencil, and it doesn't really have, it has this texture portion here, but it's not as smooth as the Graphgear. The more traditional wooden pencil, the ones that you have to sharpen, I highly recommend the Staedtler brand. This is a very well-made pencil, and it sharpens very easily. So definitely that's a pencil that you can invest in case you are looking to purchase new pencils. Utrecht is also a really good pencil brand as well. Utrecht is actually an art supplies store, so they have their own brand of pencils. Oh my god, I remember so many days when I was at Parsons going to Utrecht buying art supplies. So I still probably have some art supplies from when I was in college years ago, but this is definitely a good pencil brand that you can invest in as well. Now, in case you notice that some of these pencils often have a number and a letter on them, and you're probably wondering, what the heck is that? So just so you know, in this case, the letter B stands for the blackness of the pencil's mark. And usually it'll have a number next to it, and typically the higher the number, the softer the lead is, and the darker the black mark will be. Some cases you might just see the letter H, which just lets you know that this is a hard marking pencil. In some cases you might see HMB, which lets you know that it's a hard marking pencil, and it's a black mark, a dark black mark as well. And then there are also cases where you might just see the letter F on there, which I don't have a F lettered pencil, but that just represents that it's a fine point pencil. Now, of course, if you're using a traditional pencil, you want to make sure you have a good pencil sharpener. I really like this one because it comes with this little case where when you're sharpening your pencil, your shavings will go into this case and not all over the floor. And I like the fact that it has different sizes, so you can have different size pencils and you can sharpen it and it folds nicely like this. So I think this is a really good sharpener to have. I don't know, I guess this is the General's brand also. I don't know if they still make this, I've had this for a while, but you can probably go on any website, art supply store, Amazon, and find this type of pencil sharpener. Now, of course, what's super important, you want to make sure you have a good eraser. I love these mechanical erasers by Papermate. And what's cool about the mechanical erasers, you can buy these mechanical eraser refills. This is by the brand General's again, which this size will also fit into the Papermate one, mechanical eraser. And they also have their own mechanical eraser by Generals as well. And you can also use this type of eraser, which is a plastic eraser. Sorry, it's a little crusty. I know, but it's because I use it a lot, so just ignore that crust and just note that a plastic eraser is good for getting those hard marks out. And then lastly, what's good about the mechanical erasers, just to go back a step, they come in different sizes. So you have this like thicker tip one, and you can also buy refills for it. You can also buy refills for the erasers as well. Okay, then moving on to the markers. So I like all different types of markers. These are just some of my favorites, not in any particular order of like best to worst, but I'll just start with the Copic markers. I love this brand because it has the dual tip, this chisel tip, which is really good. And I love this brush tip as well. So you're able to get different types of marks with this marker. And I like the fact if you buy the flesh tones, the way it layers on is kind of like almost like watercolor-like in my opinion. So you get nice layers of color, not too ink heavy. They do dry out pretty quickly, but you can always get a refill, just saying. So I definitely like Copic. Tombow is another great marker brand. They have the dual tip, the brush tip, and the fine point tip. So again, you're able to get different mark styles when you are illustrating using the Tombow brand, one of my favorites. Chartpak is another brand of marker that I really like. This is a marker that is packed with ink, bright, vibrant color. Just note that this marker does bleed. So if you're working on a project where you need to stay within the lines of your illustration, this marker will typically bleed over those lines. But it is a really great marker. And also make sure that you are in a well-ventilated room when using this marker. It has very strong fumes, so just make sure you have the windows open when using this marker. Also too, the tip on this is just a chisel tip. Personally, I love a dual tip marker, so Chartpak, please get on that, just saying. Next, we have the Blick brand. This is the actual art supply store, Blick. So they have their own brand of marker. They have the brush tip and they have the chisel tip as well. Prismacolor is another favorite of mine. Again, you have your chisel tip or broad chisel tip, and then you have your fine point tip, so you're able to get different markings with this marker. So I also like this brand called Koi. I love that it has this really nice soft brush tip, and it gives you really beautiful kind of painterly watercolor-like strokes when using this pen. But also make sure when you are shopping for markers to always test the marker color. A lot of times the lid, in some cases I noticed with Koi in particular, that their lid color does not match the actual ink color. And I know that this is plastic versus ink, but you want to make sure that before you walk out of the store, it's the color that you want. You don't want to be fooled by the lid color. Just always like test it out in the store before you purchase. Next, we have our Micron pens, which I love to use for detailing. They have different size tips. These are great for getting those small, really fine details, doing cross hatching, you name it. These are great markers for that. I also love these Winsor Newton fine liners. They come in different size tips or nibs, and it allows you to get the detailing in similar to like a Micron pen. But what's super cool about these is that these are water resistant. So you can go ahead, detail out your illustration, of course, let the ink dry, and then go over it with watercolor or marker or gouache, you name it, and it won't bleed or smear. So these are great for detailing things out that you want to go over with another color. So next, you want to know, what do I draw on? So I really like this Crescent brand. Their line is called RENDR, and it's a no show-through paper. And what I love about it also is that it is a mixed media drawing pad. So it allows you to use pen, ink, spray paint. You see the little icons at the bottom, marker, any kind of paints that you want to use, watercolor, and it won't show through or bleed through the paper. So that's one brand that you can consider. There's so many different brands out there, but I'm only going to go over the ones that I have right now. And then also Blick is another great brand. This is also our art supply store, as mentioned before, and they have their own mixed media sketchpad in various sizes. I have 9x12. I typically work in this size, but you can go bigger or smaller if you like. And then lastly, we have this guy here. You're probably wondering, what is that? This is a wooden mannequin, and you can position it in different poses, which will allow you to create anatomically correct illustrations if you don't have someone to pose for you. So this is a great way when you're trying to figure out, like, what does the leg look like in the foreground if I do this pose? That's how the leg would look in the foreground if you did this pose. If you want to tilt the foot, it'll allow you to kind of imagine what the human body would look like in that pose, and it will help you to draw better. All right, so enough of all this boring stuff. Let's move on to the fun part, which is the fashion illustration.